Hello and welcome to video number 10 in a series of videos designed to demonstrate how to use the Fractal Suite in the Bloomberg trading platform. In the last video, we described the entry markers and how they correspond to the entry channels that are used on the chart. What we left for this video is the dynamic marker, which is connected to the ARC algorithm. Now what this dynamic marker does is it encapsulates the error when it is moving away from the predictor, which is represented by the 0. Now, the reason why we want to do that potentially is because we want to avoid situations like this where we have our entry marker, we see that we're moving away from our intended profit target, we intend to use a reversion strategy. It crosses through here, but yet the market continues to move away from us. So in effect, we end up taking heat and potentially losing on the trade. So what we can do to help us avoid that is scroll down to plot dynamic entry marker. Click that box, click update, and you will see the dynamic marker form around the error. So let's zoom in on this again. Alright, so let's take a look at that case in point. This exact example we looked at earlier. You see here that the dynamic marker, which is communicating with the ARC, does not allow the error to cross through it. So what we can do is we can use this in conjunction with the original entry marker. In other words, if the error is, in this case, crossing below the entry marker, which would signify that we enter into a trade, a long trade, for our reversion strategy, but we see that the green dynamic marker is not stopping or allowing the error to cross through it like it does in other situations such as here, then, or here is probably a better example, then we do not enter the trade. So this is a classic example, and I did not even plan this. This is just something that came up while I was putting this together, and you can see that this would have saved you from entering this trade, and you would have never taken any heat or lost in this. So what we have here is an extremely useful tool for protecting ourselves from bad trades, and also it's connected to the ARC, so the same settings that are used with the ARC. Now this is truly the ARC, not the ARC trend indicator. So what we're looking at is it is measuring, if you recall, the attraction state between the last traded price and the predictor, which in this case is exactly what we want. So we have the observations for the ARC at 15. We can lower that number if we want to make it even more sensitive or reactive. So let's drop it down to say 5 and see if we get some sort of a change in our dynamic indicator here. I'll zoom in again. And I believe we did. We should have. Let's double check that one more time. Here's another example that is good. Here we would have went short on the trade at this point, and we would have taken a huge amount of heat, and probably if we had a stop loss in the trade, we would have been stopped out. However, thanks to our dynamic marker, it locked on to the error and it did not allow us to enter into the trade. So what you can do is basically work with the observations for the ARC number, find a setting that a sensitivity level that you feel comfortable with. I mean, if you have it if the observation level is too low, you're probably going to lock in almost every case of when the error is moving outside of the entry marker. But a good balancing point is probably somewhere between 5 and 10. Maybe even just use the default level to start with. And I would say that a good majority of the time you're going to be protected from bad trades. Now here's a good trade. This is another good example right here. So we see that the error is moving away from the predictor, comes across the dynamic marker. The dynamic marker does not lock onto it because the ARC is telling it that it is in a range mode. Goes a little beyond our entry point and then comes right back. We exit the trade, take almost no heat. Textbook. Okay, here's one we missed. Here's one it locks onto, lets it through, takes some heat, but it comes back pretty quick. Here's another good example of one where we're locking onto it. So I think you get the idea. And again, you can work with this and dial it in to whatever your risk parameters are. And I believe that you will find this will save you from entering some bad trades quite a bit once you have it dialed in for the market that you're trading. This concludes video number 10, and the next video will focus on the final indicator in the Fractal Suite, which is the fast forward indicator used for identifying trends in which direction they are moving in, and also their strength based on the prediction. Thank you and have a fantastic day.